everybody, we're live.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. As you can see, we're live with Tiffany right now. I'm going to forego the roll call because, obviously Tiffany's in the car traveling. So, hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great today. Um, I guess some stuff came out today, and someone's unhappy with the timeline that's being presented, and what's
Apparently,
going on?
apparently, apparently, I'm the liar. You're the liar. Everyone's the liar except the one person who is known for lying.
So what's up, Tiff? What's happening? What's he saying? Like let's set it straight. What's going on?
So things are being spun in a way that makes me look like this desperate little girl who's like, if you're not with me, you'll never see your daughter. And I mean, like, do you really think that's the case? I've shared so much with you via DM, and you know, like, what has been going on more than like I've actually even said publicly. So it's like you know what's going on.
So
So
what's he
it's like
claiming that? Okay, keep going.
he's he's claiming that he basically what he's doing is trying to make Lauren feel better about the whole situation, right? He was with
And
Lauren. He
Lauren
came out.
is the girl that he was with while before and after you visited him in South Africa,
Okay,
right? By the way, you look
so
amazing, and that hair is long, and you're looking good. So there you go.
thanks, John. So Lauren is the girl that he was dating, right? He came out, made a post, and like I want to tell, like I want to like not be fake about this whole thing. When that first came out, I was tripping. I was crying. I was like, Ronald, what are you doing? Leave her, be with me. I was in shock, and like I can acknowledge that that was like I stooped so low, saying like, leave her, be with me. But at the moment, like the way I processed the whole thing was, he had been convincing me for years that I was the problem, not him, who clearly was the problem. I was the problem. So when I saw him have a girlfriend, moving on, I was like, oh no, maybe I am the problem. Because look at him, he has a girlfriend, she's pretty, maybe I was the problem. So in that moment, I was like, I'll change whatever I need to change. I'll go to South Africa, I'll drop everything, I'll forgive the past, I'll let everything go. So in that moment, he was like, and I swear these are his words, and he said this even recently, right before she got there, he had mentioned that if I ever were to get back together with you, I just wouldn't trust you. I wouldn't trust you. I feel like you would be trying to screw me over, right? So when that whole thing happened, he was like, no, I pick Lauren. I pick Lauren. I'm going to stay with Lauren. And I was like, I don't understand why you're doing this. And he's like, no, Tiffany, because I know, like, I can't trust you. If I get back together with you, I know what's going to happen. All you're going to do is try to break us up so that we could be together, just so that you can tell me to, like, to F off, right?
Right.
He thought that if I got back together with him, it was just to break them up, and then I was going to be like, peace out. And I told him that's not what it's going to be like. But whatever, you choose it, whatever. I
But you
blocked
went
him
there for
everywhere.
4 months. I mean, like it wasn't like you just went there like for like a weekend. You tried, right?
No, but this is different timelines. I'm talking about this is November before me and him got back together, before
Go,
Single Life,
girl.
before.
Go ahead.
So whatever, we broke up. We had this thing. That's when he was posting all the stuff with him and Lauren. Anyways, I let it go. I started doing my own thing. I went off and I saw Fabian. I was kind of dating here and there because I was like, okay, so we're over. He has a whole girlfriend. We are over. So there was no saving it. I started dating. I filmed the
And
Single Life.
how long ago was this?
This was November, not the recent November, November of like last year.
2021.
Yes.
Okay.
So all this is happening, whatever. I'm like butthurt because I'm like, I can't believe he moved on so quickly. Maybe I could have done something better so that he did, like, so that he'd be with me. Stupid. Anyways, all that happened. He was with Lauren. He was still trying to talk to me. He was still texting me. He was still video calling me. A lot of stuff was going on, and I allowed it because I was like heartbroken at the time. So I was like, oh no, I just want him back. So I would screenshot everything that he was doing and send it to her and say, like, he doesn't care about you. He's still looking for me. He's still telling me he wants to be with me. He's still telling me da-da-da-da. He's still telling me to, like, take my clothes off on video call. Like, and still, no matter what I showed her, she would allow him to convince her it was BS. Every time she'd allow him to convince her. I don't know how, but it worked. So anyways, she would believe him versus believing me. She wouldn't even respond to me at the time. So whatever. Eventually, I let it go. Then he got to a point where he was contacting another 90-day blogger because I blocked him everywhere because he said, no, I'll be with her, whatever. I said, no problem. He contacted another 90-day blogger because I had him blocked everywhere. He went through her and said, please have Tiffany contact me. Please, I just want my family. I want, I love her. I want to be with her. While he was with Lauren, he shared with this blogger that he didn't care about her. He told someone else, not me. He wasn't trying to convince me. He was talking to another blogger saying that he didn't care about her, that he wanted to be with me. I was like, still pushed him to the side. He used someone else's phone to contact me. He made a new Facebook. He was looking for me through Skype, through like any window he could, and I just blocked. So at that point, I was like, all right, I'm done. You take that mess elsewhere. I'm out. And then he kept trying. Eventually, I broke, and I said, okay, let's do this. This had to have been, you know what it was? Remember Angela's birthday party when I went to Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
December.
The best time of my life with you. Go ahead.
Do you remember? I was on video call with him, and you were like, girl, and he was video calling me and talking to me, remember? Am I a liar?
Oh, I do. I remember it quite well.
Am I a liar? They were together, and he was still trying to like, get me back. So then eventually it got to a point where I was like, all right,
we were in the room afterwards, like that night, like we were like talking about it. I'm like, and I always yell at you. I'm like, what are you doing?
And he was like, don't talk to me in front of John. He's gonna blast this everywhere. And I was like, no, don't worry. He won't say anything. But do you remember that? So okay, I was talking to him even then, and this was December. So
this was shortly Vegas was, by the way, for everybody, we were in Vegas. That was December of 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
This was just a month after he had posted with her, still looking for me. Not the other way around. Not me forcing him to be with me. Not me using Carly anything. I told him, go on, do your thing. He was begging for me, and I was like, I fell into it at some point because I'm an idiot. No problem. I started talking to him, and I said, you cannot try to speak to me. You cannot try to be with me if you are still with her. If you're going to try to fix things with me, I need to know that it's over with her. I have the video. I'll send it to you. I have a video where he records the whole screen of him breaking up with her and her saying like, no, call me right now. I can't breathe. I'm going to be sick. How could you do this to me? You said you loved me, and now you're just leaving me at the drop of a hat. Why? Because you and Tiffany are talking, because da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was this whole thing. So I have that whole video where he said he broke up with her. They didn't break up. They were still talking. It was some weird scenario where he told her that he was breaking up with her for filming, and then after he did all that, he was like, end scene, and then they were fine. But he lied to me. He told me they were done. He was getting a ton of money from her. At the time, he was telling me like, no, they're going to kick me out of my apartment, da-da-da-da-da, and my this and my that, and my mom. A lot of times he would say certain things like, I need to pay my bucky, or it's going to be it's going to cause trouble for me and my mom. And if it involved his mom, I was always like, no, like your mom doesn't deserve to suffer because of your stupid things. So I would eventually, yes, give him the money, cave, like an idiot. But I thought I was being helpful.
His mom is like a sweetheart though, like, right? Like she really cared for you, and like,
that's going to be my biggest loss through this whole thing is going to be his mom.
His mom was a sweetheart. Like she really, and I know that, like, I know she cared deeply for you, and I know that you cared deeply for her. Like,
and we still do.
And you still have a relationship. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. So anyways, like we check up on each other and stuff. We're still like that. But anyway, like I was sending money. Only after this whole thing happened, me and Lauren became friends, and we shared screenshots of how he would say to me, my bucky, I need to pay it because my mom, or my rent, or I need to get this thing from the pawn shop. I don't know what I'm going to do. He would say the exact same thing to her, and he would get the same amount of, like, he would get the same money from both of us. So he was playing both of us. She wasn't special. She wasn't the one. He was messing with both of us. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm special anything, but neither was she. So the fact that right now he's trying to, like, she probably feels insecure because when I gave him the opportunity to be with me again, he took it like that. He was begging for me the entire time he was with her.
So is that like what brings you back to South Africa, like just recently?
Yes. So before we got back together, and I remember telling him, are you 100% sure that it's over with her? Because I do not want to find out later that it's not. Tiffany, how many times do I have to tell you this? My gosh, you're driving me crazy asking me this. And I was like, I wonder why I'm so insecure. Maybe because of everything that has happened. No problem. He said I left or whatever. We were fine. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. And then I planned the trip to South Africa, whatever. We went there. Everything was fine. Everything was beautiful. His sister took pictures of me right outside of the airport. Everything was sweet and wonderful. And then 3 days later, I pick up her phone call. She swears. She was like, are you guys, like, what's going on? Ronald told me that you're staying at his mom's, Tiffany. I hope you know Ronald and me are still together. I was like, Lauren, we sleep in the same bed every night.
So
We're
wait,
like 100.
so when you went to South Africa like last year, like was like I know I said like I said to you, I'm like we're driving south, like can we stop on the way to see you? And you're like I'm in South Africa. I'm like okay, so it's gonna be a longer trip than expected. But like you know, you did you know about Lauren? I don't when you went there.
No. When I went to South Africa, me and
I
Ronald,
wouldn't think you did because I wouldn't think that you would go if that was the case. So.
were officially back together. I'm telling you, like full on back together when I went to South Africa.
So there was no Lauren or anything like he's like I'm for you and we're gonna make this work again and I know you and like
And he said the same thing to her. Don't worry. You have nothing to worry about. Tiffany is staying with my mom. I want nothing with that woman. The only reason I'm dealing with her is because I need to see Carly. Mind you, we're sleeping in the same bed. He's waking up in the mornings, looking me in my eye and going, wow, sometimes I just look at you and I'm just like,
were you
you know,
intimate?
what?
Were you intimate?
Of course.
Well, I would think so. I mean, like that's your husband, right? So I have to ask a question. So
Yeah. So anyway, that was a big shock to me, but I went to South Africa with the intentions of maybe I was the problem. I need to prove to myself if I was the problem, I need to come here and remove all of those things that apparently were my problems that I caused. I need to remove all of them and see if I'm truly the problem. Only an idiot would think that I'm actually the problem. But I still went there and I said, I'm not going to hold the past against him. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm going to let things go. I'm going to trust him. I'm going to this. I'm going to try my best to come to South Africa and just keep our family together. All of it. So when I found out about Lauren, I kid you not, I grabbed both of his shoulders. He looked like he wanted to deck me in the face. He was so furious because when he gets caught, what does he do? When he gets caught, just like the tell-all, what does he do? Revert to anger and fury. So he looked like he wanted to deck me in the face because I
didn't you
answered his
punch the laptop on the okay.
Yeah. So I held him by both of the shoulders, low-key scared. I held him by both of the shoulders and I said, breathe, calm down. I forgive you. I was like blown away. I was just like, I can't. But I in my mind, I was like, these are just the lasting effects of going through such a messy situation. Maybe I have to be forgiving. Maybe I have to keep moving forward because that's what's my purpose as a woman is to just forgive and forgive and forgive. Okay, maybe I'll do it. But I said, okay, he already messed up, but no problem. Let's see how much he can mess this up because I know I'm not the problem. So I forgave him. I was so insecure after that. Anytime he'd leave the house, I'd be like, Ronald, you promise you're still not talking to her. I want to be off this damn roller coaster. You're telling me you want me. You're telling me you don't care about anyone else, but your actions prove otherwise. Just tell me the truth. I will never take Carly away from you. I will never keep her away from you because you choose to be with someone else. I don't deserve to feel like the only kind of love that I deserve is by forcing it on someone. Oh, you don't want to be with me? Then you can't see your daughter. I'm not like that.
Blackmail.
So anyway, you know what? It's not that hard for me to find someone, but I truly thought I was doing what I needed to do for my family. So I tried and I stayed, and then he did other things, substances that I found multiple times.
But you did you took accountability for you're saying like maybe like I'm not the world's best wife, and you were trying to like work on that, and you were saying like maybe it's not all Ronald. There's part that has to do with me. And
for me, it's like it was such a shock to me that this horrible, and in my mind I was like, he's terrible, he's horrible, he's a manipulator, he's a liar, he's emotionally abusive. But you know what? Maybe I'm messed up in my head. Maybe I'm the shitty one. Maybe I'm the crappy one, right? So, because look, me, I'm single. I'm alone. I'm the good guy. I'm alone. But look at him. He has a girl. So maybe he is the catch. Maybe I'm the one that doesn't deserve it. So let me change. That's how messed up my brain was. That's how deep I was convinced that I was the problem, that I believed it. So all this happened. Anyways, long story short, he did show me that he is not the prize that he claims to be. He did show me that nothing had changed. Then, when I walked away and I said, I can't do this anymore, I ran away from his house to my friend who's South African. Her aunt lived 15 minutes away from him. I ran with the kids to that house. And I became friends with Lauren because the moment I told him, we're done, he said, oh, yeah, we're done. Are you sure about that? He went upstairs to the people I went to that lived upstairs from him, Rowan and Andre, the people that he filmed with.
Right.
I went upstairs, and they were like, don't touch her. Don't get close to her. He went and said, come downstairs. Let's talk. Come downstairs. Let's talk.
How far into like your trip to like that this happened? Like when once you
3 months when I walk away. So he's like, let's go downstairs. Let's talk. I said, no. He grabbed me. And he almost threw me on the ground. I was bruised on my arms, and I have pictures. He almost threw me on the ground. The 2 men in that house had to push him away. So I was like, I'm done with this. I need to get out of this filth. So I left. He texted me, and he's like, no problem. You want to leave? Lauren sounds like a good option now. Do you think she deserves to be a second option? But she doesn't think she is, because he's trying so hard to convince her that it was her all along, that she was the one he always wanted, when all he's trying to do is like make sure that he secures that bag. Like, it's plain and simple. It is plain and simple. Lauren sounds like a good option now. Do you not think it's common sense that anyone in this situation would try so hard to convince that person, oh, no, I never wanted to be with her. I lied to her. It was all for Carly. It was always you. She forced me to be with her. I always was just dreaming about you. Come on. Who would really believe that? And she's allowing it. She's allowing him to convince her this because that feels better than understanding that he's only with you because I wouldn't let him be with me anymore. He left you because he did not care about you, because he wanted to be with me. That hurts to acknowledge, but that is the facts.
And for the record, like once you got to South Africa, when did you find out about Lauren?
3 days later.
So you're there, you fly in there, 3 days later, you find out about Lauren.
Yeah, and Lauren was on the phone with me, and she's like, Tiffany,
how did that come about? How did that come about? Like when you got in touch with Lauren and like you're there 3 days, how'd that happen?
So 3 days after being there, the second day after being there, she called his phone, and I was like, why is she calling your phone? I thought she's blocked. And he's like, yeah, I unblocked her because we got into a fight yesterday. Stupid decision, but whatever, I'll block her. And I was like, red flag, but you know what? I'm going to let him do his thing. If anyone's going to mess this up, it's going to be him. So I allowed it. The next day I found out about Lauren. She's like, Tiffany, put me on the phone with Ronald. I was like, why would I do that? And she's like, Tiffany, we're together. And I was like, that's funny. She's like,
sorry.
She goes, I saw the divorce paper. And I was like, yeah, you sent him money to divorce me. Money that he spent on other things.
Wait,
and then
so Lauren sent him money to divorce you?
And then he didn't even do the paperwork. He kept the money and then printed out some bogus paper.
Like a Google, like, bill of divorcement? Like, hi, I, Ronald, now divorced Tiffany, signed Ronald. Like
and
that?
Then this explains my issues. When he's telling everyone she won't divorce me because he wanted me to sign some papers he sent to me. I did that the first time, and then he fake divorced me. I'm trying to actually get divorced. I just can't afford it right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, my car got hit. I don't feel like I need to explain this, but my car got hit. My car's not in driving condition, so I needed to go get a car. So what did I do? Go get a car. Do you think I'm gonna rather divorce him so that he can be like, ha ha ha, yay, we're done? Versus like my own kid's safety? I need to drive my son to school. So I went, I got a car, and I said, hey, the divorce is going to happen when it happens. You want to do it? I'll sign your papers. I don't even care if they're fake. I'll just sign it to shut you up. But when I can afford the divorce, I'll do it. But that's not right now.
Hold on.
So anyway, yeah, it's a whole load of crap. So the issue that I had is, in order to I don't care about any of this. But I'm not going to have someone try and make me look bad just to make her feel better. Make her feel better, but don't involve me. Make her feel like she's very special and loved and like she was your first choice. Tell her that. But you don't have to.
I just got your divorce papers. So Tiffany,
divorced Ronald. I'm divorced.
And I'm a notary. Can you get my stamp, please?
That's right.
Get it notarized.
I am a notary, so I'm gonna put my stamp on this and look at it. There you go.
I guess it's legit. It's
There
as
it is.
legit as
Right
what
there.
he did. Yeah.
You're divorced. There you go.
I'm divorced. There you go. Happy. We're all happy now. Anyways, what bothers me is that like he's trying to make her feel better while trying to make me look like a desperate little girl. Like when I sent you a voice recording that's 18 minutes long, John, and what is he doing on that voice note?
Nothing good.
He's crying. He's saying, I know if you want to walk away right now. I understand why, because I'm a CUNT. I messed everything up. I messed things up with you, and if you want to walk away from me, just do it now while I'm down. And then I said, no, Ronald, don't you worry. I lied to him exactly how he lied to my face and to Lauren's face. I said, you have my word. I would never do anything to hurt you. I'll never leave you. You're my everything. I said those exact words to him. I said, don't worry, I won't leave you. And he was like, thank you so much. So does that sound like someone who's just with me for Carly, or does that sound like someone who's pressed? Because he was pressed. He's just trying to convince Lauren that he
Carly, like he's saying that, like, he with the visitation and let's clear that up. Like visitation, support, like what's the deal with all that? Like, are you stopping Ronald from seeing Carly?
Do you think I'm stopping Ronald from seeing Carly?
No.
So like this is how it works right now. How it works is I've told him so many times for a couple of months now, get Carly a tablet, because you having access to my phone means you have access to try and argue with me whenever you feel like it, when you're having a bad day, right? And I don't need that. I'm at peace. I don't argue every single day of my life anymore. I enjoy my life. But then he'll start arguments with, I want to talk to Carly right now. And I'll say, I'm busy. Oh yeah, of course, Tiffany trying to control everything again. I'm like, no, at the drop of a hat, I can't just, sure, okay, everyone, shh, everyone quiet. Ronald wants to talk to Carly. This is my cell phone that I pay for. You want to talk to your daughter at any given time? Get her a tablet. He said,
so you're
okay.
not stopping him from talking to Carly or in any way? I know you're not, but I have to ask the question because, like,
He's blocked me. He's blocked me who knows how many times. I have not blocked him back because I'm like, I'm not going to be in charge of him not speaking to his daughter. If he wants to block me, that's on him. But I told him, get your daughter a tablet. He said he bought the kids Christmas gifts. I have a Ring camera, right, that shows whenever anyone's at my door. He said the gifts were supposed to get there on the 28th. Somehow they're delayed. Now they were going to get there on the 11th.
So right now?
Wait. They were going to get there on the 11th. I said, "Oh, what happened with the gifts for the kids?" He said, "Yeah, they tried to deliver them, but you weren't home." I said, "I have a Ring camera, boy. Don't play with me." He didn't get anything for the kids. He just wants to be the good guy.
If you buy something from Amazon, like, they just drop it off on your doorstep. They don't ring the bell.
Exactly, but I'm the bad guy. I'm refusing Christmas gifts for my kids.
Did he give you a tracking number? Like, did you ask for a tracking number? Like,
You want to go?
Oh, I mean, if you want that. No, it's all good.
Okay.
I can make a call real quick.
He gave me I said, because my friend was with me, and you know what? I told Dan. The moment he told me, I'm going to.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, John.
I told him. I said, this is exactly what's going to happen. I've been with this guy for so many years to know he won't spend a penny on anyone but himself. So I said, he's going to tell me he bought Christmas gifts. He's either then going to order it and then cancel it to keep the money, or he's not going to order it at all and then just tell me he did, right? I told him, I'm never going to see those gifts for the kids. And then when he says they were supposed to be delivered, he's going to say that I wasn't home to receive the package, and then he's going to say they got canceled because of you, so that I'm the bad guy. And that's exactly what happened. So the kids didn't get Christmas gifts from him. He'd rather spend the money on his nice new truck, on maybe nice dinners with his girlfriend, which is all well and good. But, like, don't say you're going to don't call Carly and get her excited and then be like, I got you a Christmas present, my little queen. Tell Daniel he got him something for Christmas to expect it. And then for what? For nothing? And then to turn around and try to make me the bad guy. The whole thing is irritating. And it's like, I can't wait to get to the point where I don't have to deal with this another day of my life. But right now, I'm in the position where I am going to have to deal with this every day of my life. I can't block him because then I'm the bad guy keeping his daughter from him because he didn't buy her a tablet. So then if I block him, he can't talk to her. So, like, I don't know where's my Like, I don't want to be involved in anything that has to do with him and Lauren. I used to care before. Before, I was like, oh no, it hurts my feelings so much that he found happiness. I wish it was me. Then it was me, and then I was like, oh, never mind. So now I'm like, bye. Enjoy him. I know she's not happy. I know
Well, we
that.
have the sex tonight that I'm going to pull up in a second. I just want to, because he's saying that there's gaps in the timeline, and I'm lying, that you're lying, that like everyone's lying, and
Go look at his comments. Go look at his comments. Somebody sent me a screenshot, and they were like, "Look at what this man's saying. He blocked me because I said this." He literally went in his comments. He can't get his story straight. He said, "Oh, back together? When were we not together? You mean still together? Because we were together the whole time. Meaning he's been together with her since November, sir. What is it?"
And what about Daniel? Does Ronald have any communication with him at all, or is that?
So Ronald has asked me to download WhatsApp for Daniel numerous times, and I ran it across Daniel, and I said, hey, like, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk to Ronald? I can download WhatsApp on your phone. You guys can talk whenever you want. And he was like, oh, I'll do it when I want to. I don't really need to right now. And I respect that. I'm not going to force Ronald onto him. He, as much as I try to like keep him from this, at the end of the day, when he was in South Africa, he saw it, right?
When I came back, that boy, your son is very smart, man.
When I came back from South Africa, Daniel hugged me and he was like, "Mommy, that's the best thing you've ever done. This is the best thing you've ever done." He said to me, he said, "You don't deserve to be sad every day, and you don't deserve somebody who treats you like that. You're a good mom, you're a good person, and I just want to see you happy. And I know that you haven't been happy for a very long time." And then I told him, sometimes we make mistakes and we pick the wrong people. And sometimes we love the wrong people. And it's never too late to fix that. And it's never too late to walk away. Sometimes you can try as much as you want. But when things don't work, there's no need to stay there, because then it just becomes bad. I told him I tried my best.
How old is he, for the record?
Huh?
How old is Daniel?
12.
Very, very insightful and intuitive from a 12-year-old.
Very smart kid.
Yeah, like it's a different like life for me now. Like Daniel is like, I shouldn't care about this because I'm the adult, whatever, but like Daniel feels so happy. He feels like proud of me. I just got this new car. It's our own apartment here. I've done it all by myself. I've taken care of them all by myself without anyone's help. Daniel's dad has passed away. Ronald doesn't help me with Carly. So I've done it literally all by myself. And like, I'm proud of myself, and my son sees that.
You should be proud of yourself. You should be.
It's something that for me, like, I've never felt. While I was with Ronald for so many years, I was so disappointed in myself because I felt like I had no control over my own emotions. I was like, why am I in this situation? Why am I doing this to myself? Knowing it's harming me, knowing that it's not letting me move forward in my life. I'm spending all this money trying to help the person that I married, and it shouldn't be like this. Love should not be like this. So I finally, like, got strong enough to say, like, enough is enough. I cannot do this to myself. I cannot do this to my kids, regardless of what anyone says to me. Because believe me, I had many people in my ear saying, you are not, divorced, religion, and how dare you walk away? He was so good to your son. He tried so much, and nothing he did was ever good enough for you. That's what people think, but no one really knows what it was like.
Let me ask you, like,
except Lauren. And Lauren has Lauren also has a little kid. And when me and her were friends, you know what she said to me? And that's why I'm so mad, because I went through it. And that gives me this insight so that I can tell her, don't do this. You are me. You are me a few years ago. She has like a 7 or 8 year old. And I said, Lauren, don't do this to yourself again. She told me when I was with Ronald, I couldn't even be like a good parent. I was so miserable and stressed out all the time. My family saw me bawling, crying. My friends didn't know what was wrong.
As a friend, like, because, I consider us like, family. Like, I was miserable seeing you miserable, and
I don't think anyone in my life saw me and was like, good choice. Everyone was like, what is wrong with you? Everyone. My best friend, Anna, she told me, I'm sorry, Tiff, I cannot watch you do this again.
Anna from Passaic? Uh-oh, we lost Tiffany. I hope her phone didn't die. Are you back? Can you hear me? Tiff? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Anna from Passaic.
The one from Clifton. She told me I can't watch you do this again.
I love
She
her.
literally, she's been my best friend since I was 8 years old, and she told me I cannot. I love you with all my heart, and I cannot keep being your friend. I cannot watch you do this to yourself again. I'm out. Don't speak to me. I don't want to hear about it. We're done. She stopped being my friend because I went back to Ronald.
Well,
That's how bad.
I even remember talking to your mom. I'm like, she went back to Ronald, and your mom was like, I don't want to talk about it. You know,
It's embarrassing, but
no, it's
I
you
had
know,
to,
listen.
I had to go through what I had to go through to get to this point.
But
Because
Tiffany, that's
nobody,
exactly what it is. Like, you know, for everybody on the outside looking in, they could all cast judgments and opinions or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's your marriage. It's your marriage. And you're going to have to find out when you find out. Like, there's been times when people with me and Cody are like, oh, no, split up, blah, blah, blah. You guys are awful for each other. But it's our marriage. It's not yours. It's our marriage. So, like, you know, you're going to have, like you said, you're going to have to find it out in your own time. And it's hard. It's easy for people that's not in a marriage to tell you what to do or what to say or how to act. But like at the end of the day, it's your marriage and it is what it is. So that's why I kind of never faulted you for that. Although I was mad at you. I'm like, are you really going back to Ronald again? Like,
you got so mad at me at one point. You were like, if you go back to him, I'm not talking to you. But
I
anyway,
was like, I will never talk about you again. Like, I can't believe you're doing this again. But
listen. I learned my lesson. I had to do what I had to do to get here, right? And I just know that like I am proud of where I am right now. And it took me so much, and I'm not healed. Let me tell you something. I got a lot of healing to do in my life because the deeper issue is why would I allow myself to be with someone like him knowing he's hurting me? Why did I think that was good enough? That's the deeper issue that I need to deal with. So I'm getting there, right? But I cannot, as much as I'm not dealing with him at all, as much as he doesn't bother me, there are certain things that trigger me. When it's him trying to make me look like the bad guy when I was nothing but good to him for all those years. I tried so hard for so many years. For what? For him to tell everyone that I'm this piece of trash, that I would like use his daughter to make him be with me? What? For some girl so that she doesn't leave him? Come on. Like, I feel for her because I was her. I feel for her because I was in her position. Mind you, if I was in her position and I had his ex-wife telling me, hey, this guy doesn't care about you, look what he's doing, I think I would have ran then. But she's a little more hard-headed. She sees the facts in front of her, and she's like, no. Everyone's lying. Ronald's telling the truth.
right. So I'm gonna bring the text up now. It's like, you know, because Ronald's saying like there's like, you know, the timeline's not right. So I have a bunch of texts that an informant sent me. We'll just say.
I wonder who.
I don't know who sent me these texts, but we'll just say a source close to production sent me these. That's the safe one right there. Hold on. So, you know, he's saying like, you know, there's like problems with the continuity on the timeline. So let me pull these up. Shoot, they're out of order. Okay, so what do we have there? So you probably
it's me talking to Lauren, and this was me and her were not besties when I was in his house. We were besties when I ran away to the aunt's house, and I was like, hey, giving you a heads up, this man is saying that you seem like a good option now. So he's going to come to you and pretend that you were his option all along and that I forced him to be with me, and he's somehow going to wrap you around his finger and make you think that you're the first option, not that he's actually going back to you because I left him, right? So we started texting and talking, and we started dying laughing at how stupid we both are. Both of us were like, damn, we're dumb. Both of us. Because it's true, we were dumb for this. For what? For this person? So we were comparing situations. We were laughing at a lot of things, you know. Like,
you want me to read it out loud? Like, you know, just so we have it. Like, you probably can't read that because it's tiny on the screen.
You can go ahead. All I'm saying with this is she knows who she's with. She knows who she's with. So the fact that he's trying to like play her now is a joke because she knows who he is.
it's you and Lauren, and the first screenshot, you're saying he's a gross human. Lauren, I'm so grossed out. I really feel like something was so wrong with me. Why did I do this for so long? Once your feelings are not involved and you clearly see how much money he wants, it's so sick. I'm just like, wow. And when did these conversations happen? Like what, day 3 when you were there?
No, this happened once I was leaving. So this was like 3 months later. He didn't talk to her for 3 months and a half or whatever. When I hit that boiling point and I was like, I'm out, that was, I think, August or September.
And Lauren's saying, I was the same. Honestly, from May now was a blessing. I really don't know what was wrong with me either. Literally everything is about money, everything. Lauren's saying, and I knew it was a red flag when in September of 2021, I think he got his big payment from Happily and it was gone like instantly. But my dumbass made excuses for him. Where'd that payment go, Tiff?
Where do you think?
Up the nose, on the slots?
Up the nose and on the slots.
I'm just going to pull up a couple more. Let's see. Wait, shoot. What is that? Tiff. Let me see. Tiff 1, Tiff 2. In this one, Lauren's saying, I actually think he's a homeless person. She's saying, I actually think a homeless person has better morals than him.
She knows who she's with. So, like, she can smile for the camera all she wants, but she knows what he's doing. She knows he's lying to her. She knows he's manipulating her. But she's just like, no, he's changed for me. Because he always wanted me, so I'm the one who magically changed him. Girl, don't worry. I've been there too. I thought I was going to Good luck.
And she's saying, like, some homeless people steal food from shops or whatever to survive. He steals and begs from people he loves. Embarrassing. This is coming from Lauren's, her own words. And they're all like taking pictures, like all chummy together. Let me see. Let me go to Tiff 3. Then we have, you're saying he's such a gross human, Lauren. I'm so grossed out. I really feel like something was so wrong with me. Why did I do this for so long? Once your feelings are not involved and you clearly see how much he just wants money, it's so sick. I'm just like, wow. And Lauren is saying, I was the same. Honestly, from May now, it was a blessing. I really don't know what was wrong with me either. Literally everything is about money.
Saying from May till now. From May till now. Meaning from May till August or from May till September, which is the time that I was there. She had used that time to reflect and say, damn, there was something wrong with me. Meaning they weren't together the whole time that I was in South Africa because we were together.
And she's saying, like, I forgot he always needs money for gambling. I don't know which one this one. I'm out of order. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's no specific order to them.
Right here. So she's saying, what makes me, she goes, oh shit. Yes, silly me. I forgot he always needs money for gambling. Lauren's saying, what makes me die though? How one person can be so bad at gambling. Does he ever win? And that's Lauren saying that, not you, Lauren.
Yeah.
And she goes, I know it's a game of chance mainly, but man, he don't ever win. Or wait, actually, he doesn't ever walk away because he thinks he's going to get another MoneyGram. Damn stupid.
Because we were sending him MoneyGrams, both of us.
Let me see. Tiff 4. I'll just post these because
what the point I'm trying to get at is don't play me. Don't make me a pawn in you trying to make her feel more secure. Tell the girl the truth. I wanted to be with my wife because I like her, because I loved her. That's why I left you. But you know what? Once she left me, I realized, fuck, I'm alone. Or damn, I'm alone. Let me be with you again. That's what actually happened. At least be honest. Start right this time. She's just going to allow him to lie to her. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good enough for me. No, girl, you deserve better. I deserved better. We both agreed on that.
In this section, she's saying, like, I said to my friend today, this is Lauren, I actually think he needs to like seek help or something because something with him is just off. He doesn't behave like a normal human, but for him, that's okay. He knows what he does is effed up and just continues to do it over and over again, he will find someone someday who suits his lifestyle and is happy with the bare minimum, but living a normal life. Who knows?
I wonder who that person that's okay with the bare minimum is. I'm not going to say it.
She go, and you're like, I highly doubt it. Just, it's just insanity that you and her, allowed ourselves to be part of that crazy train, but such a blessing to be out of it. And she's saying, honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. He is just wild. But you're with him now.
But I can't get mad. So many times I talked to myself and I said, you're tripping. This guy is terrible. And what did I do? I went back. My mom, my best friend, you, everyone. Hey, Tiffany, you're really too good for this guy. What did I do? I went back. Doesn't matter what anyone said to me. So I understand her. But it's an added layer when the guy has a wife and he's trying to convince you that he doesn't like his wife. He likes you more. And then in that mix, throw in that you're giving him so much money. Does that not ring a bell that that's what he likes when he's still trying to be with his wife? And his wife is sending you screenshots of the stuff he's doing behind your back. How are you still going to choose to believe this guy?
And she's saying to you, call me whenever, like, you guys, you're like beefers at this point, right? Like, you guys are friends.
I told her when I was in that house, when I left his house, I said, girl, you know what would be the best? If I pretend I'm going to be with him, if I tell him, don't worry, I'm never going to tell anyone anything that you've done to me. I'm just going to continue the story of you're the perfect guy, the best dad, right? And then I lie to his face the same way he lied to us. I get to the tell-all, which is what I did by myself, but she was supposed to do it with me. I said, it would be nice if I go there and then you show up on the screen, because what's he going to do? Lie to and say that we're both liars and that he's the one telling the truth? It would have been better if she was there so she can say, it's true. Everything she's saying is true, and he did it to me too. She, at the end, didn't want to be part of it, and I understand why, but, like, she was willing. She was like, screw this guy. He lied to us both. The only difference is right after the tell-all, like 2 days after the tell-all, she, like, was talking to him again. And I messaged her, and I was like, no, he did not get to you. No way. And she's like, Tiffany, like, I don't want to be part of this. Like, I just want to be happy and da-da-da. And I was like, you want to be happy? You're going the wrong direction. But after that, I was like, do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
You're saying to her, like, Lil, but seriously, at one point I was like, if she's pretending and she's like, going to turn around, tell him to look at Tiffany's planning to do you, ha, ha, ha. I was like, no, I've told him the woman all my secrets and I'm done. And she's saying to you, no, I would never tell him shit. But I don't know.
She sent him our entire conversation. She sent him via email our entire WhatsApp transcript. Fake.
And she's saying I would never tell him anything. But I don't know why when I was talking to her, I was like, damn, imagine if her and Ronald made a plan to get me back. Ha, 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 ha.
So she was scared to go on the tell-all because she was worried that me and Ronald were going to, like, team up against her, which I was like, I would never do that. I would never do that to a woman who went through the same thing I went through.
Were they planning on having her on the tell-all?
The producers contacted her. We were down for this. We were going to screw Ronald the same way he screwed us. We were going to put him on blast. She backed out last minute, and I was like, no problem. I'll put him on blast by myself.
No, and I remember you telling me, like, you're like, John. I'm like, Tiffany, what are you doing? And she's like, you're like, John, I have a plan. I'm like, okay.
You know what? He steals. He steals from people. He lies to people. Just before I came back from South Africa, let me tell you, I came to America to come get Daniel, and I left Carly with him because he's like, no, if you leave, you're never coming back. He knew he messed up. And I said, no, I'm going to be with you. Don't worry. So I left Carly with him for what was supposed to be 3 days. His mom gave him about $1,500 to buy my ticket for me and Daniel back, right? He spent that money from his mom.
On?
The world may never know.
All right, let's keep going. All right, I'm just gonna read the text because I had them out of. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of scroll. And then there is a picture of like a whole bunch of pills, right?
Yeah, because when I left him and I said, we're done, Ronald. I don't want to hurt your feelings. My intention is not to hurt you, but we're done. He sent me a bunch of pills, and he does this to me every single time I ever tried to leave him. He would say, I'm gonna crash my car. I'm gonna take all these pills. And it's not funny, but when you are emotionally like keeping someone hostage that way of like, okay, be with me.
That's what he sent her. Like, and let's be careful with our wordage here, but he was intimating that he was going to take these and go to sleep, really, right? Or no? All that. Tiffany's frozen. I'm texting you, Tiffany, if you could hear me. Well, while we're on pause, while Tiffany is unfreezing, sorry, Maggie, you didn't do anything bad. It was just an accident. Don't worry about it. Oh, you're back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Anyways, I probably have to go soon, but the point that I wanted to make today is what he's saying. He's clearly what he's doing by saying, like, John, you got the timeline all wrong. I chose Lauren over Tiffany, and Tiffany can't deny it. What he's saying, he chose Lauren over me when he posted her. And I acknowledged that. And I said, no problem, stay with Lauren then. And when I backed off and I said, go do your thing then, he wouldn't leave me alone and he was after me. And you were there to see how he was up my... Right?
Yeah. I know. I defend you always. I got you. I've been there with you through most of it. And you're like one of the cast members that I see in real life often. So, you're just not some cast member that I talk about. We're actually friends in real life, and I love you. And I think you're frozen again. Your phone's probably dying. She's
still frozen.
You're frozen, but just for can you hear me? Tiff, can you hear me? I want one more question. Can you hear me, Tiff? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
When he sent the pills, was he intimating that he was gonna go to sleep for a long time?
That's what he does every time. There was
okay.
a disagreement, and I was like, okay,
I want to make that clear.
That's
okay.
What he does every time to get me to show that I care, to get me to talk to him. After the tell-all, you're frozen again. After the tell-all, when he was already talking to Lauren, and I have this conversation saved as well. After the tell-all, he was like, Tiffany, I need you to call me right now. And I said, I can't. I said to him, why don't you ask Lauren to call you? Speak to Lauren. She's a good girl. She'll walk you through this. He was telling me he was going to unalive himself with a GUN, and that it was hard looking at it right in front of him, and that I needed to call him. So then I called him.
That's awful.
That was a long call.
That's
anyway, so that he did that. I gotta go. I can't leave my...
All right, sweetheart. Go. We love you. Thank you for hopping on with me right now. And Dan, take her out for some dinner. Go buy her a steak.
Okay.
He's like, hey. We're about to go shopping. We're going to do some shopping. But anyways, yeah, that's the point I was making is go do your thing. Go be happy. Please leave me out of it. Stop going to do interviews talking about me and how I'm a liar and forcing you to be with me, because none of that is true. I don't need to force anyone to want to be with me. And if people can't see that that man was up my, then they're tripping, because he clearly was.
I know. And thank you. And go have a great night. Thanks for coming up. And I think, I know originally, you had a lot of hate towards you when you were on Happily, and because people would take his side. And I know that the tide has turned, and I'm happy that people are finally seeing who he is and what he's worth. And
that's what I was planning to tell all for, because I knew if I gave him a chance to prepare himself, he would prepare really believable lies. So I had to use the law of surprise. I had to use the law of surprise, and I had to be like, oh, you didn't expect me to out you in front of everyone, right? So all he could do was punch a screen, which only incriminated him more.
Let me ask you a question before you leave. Did Dan pretty woman you?
Dan pretty womans me every day. You pretty woman me?
What does that mean?
You pretty woman me?
I don't know what does that mean?
You don't want to know.
That's our joke.
I pretty woman John all the time.
She does. She does. She pretty woman's me hard. So I love you. I love you so much, girlie. You guys have a great night. Go have fun. Go get out of here. Enjoy your nights. Okay.
All right, John.
Have a good night, John.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, there we are. I know her connection was, a little shoddy towards the end, and they were in the car, and I want to thank Tiffany for coming up and being Tiffany. She is such a sweetheart, and I am lucky and blessed to have her in my life. And she still owes. If you're still listening, Tiffany, you gotta send Cody's pants back. It's been a year, but we love her so much, and we just want her to be happy. And it looks like she is finally. And what I was saying before, it's very easy for people to look at your marriage, right? And everybody, everyone's married, right? And if you're not, I don't know, but a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a fiance, whatever, it's very easy for people to, tell you a friend, a family member, a priest, a wizard, it's easy. It's easy for them to look at your marriage and say, like, what's wrong with it, right? But it's at the end of the day, it's your marriage. And you're going to do what you're going to do because it's your husband. And there's so many times that me and Tiffany, I wouldn't say fought, but I'm like, what are you doing back with him again? I've had Tiffany on my show many, many times, and but it's at the end of the day, it's your marriage, and it's your husband or it's your wife, and you're going to have to find out in your own time when it's done. And no matter what people tell you, your mom, your dad, your grandma, you have to find it out when you're ready to accept it, then you're ready for it. It's, as a blogger, it's easy to look, oh, this one is awful, they should divorce, or I can't believe they're still together. But it's your marriage. It's your marriage. I've had, when me and Cody had problems, I've had a litany of people telling me, oh, I don't want to get into that, but I've had public marriage issues years ago, and I've heard it from everybody. And I said, well, I support, I appreciate your concern, but it's my marriage. And, I'm going to do what I want to do because that's my husband. So I'm happy that Tiffany is happy. I like Dan a whole lot. And she deserves better. So I hope that we cleared up the timeline, or, whatever questions there were looming about, what's being said about Tiffany. And I wish her all the best. I want to thank everybody for being on this live. When I do a day live, it's important, right? So yes, my tree is gone. We just can't find my desk. My desk is buried somewhere. But thanks for joining us today. And I have a few lives planned. I don't know when I'll see you next. It'll be soon. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight, today, this evening. I don't know, this afternoon. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much. And I will see you shortly.